There is a kind of power that does not shout. It does not chase or demand. It simply watches, learns, and adapts. It is the quiet strategy that lives beneath charm, the ancient art of influence whispered through centuries by minds like Machiavelli. This power does not move in straight lines. It flows in circles of perception, illusion, and timing. It understands that control is never about force. It is about awareness, to know what someone wants before they speak it, to make them believe they are choosing freely, while they slowly move exactly where you wish them to go. In the delicate game of love and attraction, this power reveals itself as calm confidence. It is the patience of the observer, the restraint of the strategist, the elegance of one who gives little yet seems to offer everything. Women are not controlled through words or demands. They are moved through emotion, mystery, and presence. Machiavelli once wrote that influence belongs to those who understand the human heart, its fears, its needs, its desires for validation and safety. And when you learn this language, you no longer need to speak loudly. You control by understanding, not by commanding. You lead by evoking, not by insisting. This is not cruelty. It is awareness. It is not manipulation for harm, but observation for mastery. The art of aligning perception, power, and emotional gravity. Tonight, as we drift deeper into this exploration, you will walk the quiet corridors of dark psychology, not to dominate, but to understand what makes connection so fragile, so powerful, and so easily swayed by those who see beyond the surface. This is the Machiavellian mind, silent, deliberate, magnetic, and this is where control truly begins. Machiavelli understood, long ago, that true influence is never seized forcibly. It is allowed. It is invited by those who recognize the serenity, the quiet authority, the self-possession that does not bend to desire or demand. In love, as in life, the one who does not chase is the one who is chased, the one who maintains composure in the face of longing, who smiles without overextending, becomes a center around which curiosity and fascination revolve. Desire naturally flows toward that which is unobtainable, or that which appears untouched, and the subtle mastery of this dynamic is what separates fleeting attention from lasting intrigue. The hidden power moves are rarely dramatic. They exist in the pauses, in the spaces between words and gestures, in the stillness of a gaze held without anxiety. You have felt it before in the presence of someone who does not need to prove themselves, who moves with ease and patience, who allows events, people, and emotions to unfold without interference. A woman feels this before she can name it. She senses the inner calm, the unshakable self-possession, the refusal to react to every fluctuation in her attention or affection. This stillness, paradoxically, becomes a quiet invitation. It suggests safety and certainty, curiosity and challenge, all at once. To make someone chase you is not about manipulation, nor about deceit. It is about maintaining sovereignty over your own inner world. It is about radiating a quiet confidence, about letting absence speak louder than presence. Boundaries, emotional restraint, and intentional distance are not signs of coldness but of self-respect, and in their subtle power, they create fascination. Those who are rare enough to possess such calmness cannot be fully understood, and it is this mystery that makes others linger, wonder, and, eventually, come closer. True allure is never loud. It does not compete or demand. It is the calm within the storm, the unwavering center that holds itself steady while the world swirls around it. Let her feel your serenity. Let your restraint hum like an invisible melody, and let the quiet power of your presence speak in ways words never could. In this gentle mastery lies a force so profound that it does not chase, and yet everything and everyone seems to chase it. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to stay in control without saying a word. Control is rarely loud. It does not announce itself with gestures or declarations. True control is quiet, almost imperceptible, a presence that subtly shifts the energy in a room, a conversation, a relationship. It is the gentle authority of someone who understands that words are not always necessary, that silence can speak louder than any declaration, and that patience carries more weight than force. To be in control without speaking is to inhabit your own calm, to radiate a composed energy that guides without forcing, that influences without insisting. It is the soft power of presence. Imagine the stillness of a lake under moonlight. The water moves only when it must, reflecting the sky above without resistance, yet holding depths that are unseen, untouched, and undeniable. This is the essence of silent control, an internal mastery that requires no performance. When you are grounded in your own emotional sovereignty, when your reactions are measured and intentional, others naturally orient themselves around you. They feel the quiet gravity of someone who is unshaken, someone who responds with thought rather than impulse, someone who does not surrender to every provocation or expectation. It is magnetic, almost hypnotic, because it is rare. To stay in control without speaking is also to master the art of restraint. Every word, every gesture, carries weight, and in their careful modulation lies influence. You learn to listen more than you speak, to observe more than you react, to understand more than you judge. In relationships, this manifests as a kind of invisible choreography, the subtle shaping of emotional currents through presence, timing, and attentiveness. She senses it, even when she cannot name it, because she feels the difference between being directed and being guided, between chaos and calm, between noise and intention. This form of control is not domination. It is not manipulation. It is a gentle authority that stems from self-possession. It allows space for others to reveal themselves, to engage freely, to pursue curiosity and connection, all while you remain centered in your own quiet certainty. Silence becomes a language, restraint becomes a rhythm, and your inner calm becomes a signal of depth and stability. People are drawn to it instinctively, responding to what cannot be forced, what cannot be hurried, what simply is. To master silent control is to embrace the paradox that influence is strongest when it is unseen, that power is greatest when it is understated, that guidance is most effective when it is gentle. You need not speak, and yet your presence says everything. You need not act, and yet the world moves in subtle ways around you. In this quiet mastery lies a profound truth. The less you chase, the more you hold. The less you claim, the more you give. The less you say, the more is understood. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. The art of detachment, why she falls when you don't. Detachment is not indifference. It is a quiet sovereignty of the mind and heart, a serene clarity that does not cling, does not beg, and does not demand. It is the awareness that your sense of self is complete, that your worth is inherent, and that connection is a choice, not a necessity. When you move through the world with this understanding, you do not grasp at attention or affection, and yet, paradoxically, others are drawn to you. There is a magnetic pull in someone who stands unshaken, someone who can offer presence without need, attention without desperation, and care without expectation. Imagine a tree rooted deeply in the earth. Its branches sway with the wind, yet its trunk remains steady, unwavering. It does not chase the sunlight, yet the sun touches it with warmth. Detachment is like this tree, flexible yet grounded, open yet complete within itself. When you embody this quiet independence, when you allow life, relationships, and emotions to flow around you without grasping or forcing, the ones who sense it are drawn in. They are captivated not by your pursuit, but by your ability to exist fully without it. Detachment teaches a subtle kind of allure. It allows others to feel your strength in absence, your stability in contrast to their uncertainty. When you do not react impulsively, when you do not seek validation, when you remain calm in the face of shifting attention, a paradox emerges. The more you appear untouched, the more deeply others wish to reach you. They begin to invest, to notice, to seek what cannot be demanded. In letting go of control, you create an invisible power, a quiet authority that inspires fascination and respect. Yet detachment is not a tool to manipulate. It is a practice of self-mastery. It requires presence, mindfulness, and an understanding of your own emotions. It is the willingness to allow others to come and go, to observe without needing, to love without clinging. In relationships, this manifests as a gentle equilibrium. You care without losing yourself. You respond without overreacting. You engage without surrendering your inner peace, and it is within this balance that the deepest connections naturally form, guided by authenticity and choice rather than fear or dependence. To master the art of detachment is to embrace a paradoxical truth, that falling in love does not require pursuit, that influence does not demand attention, that connection thrives when it is free, not forced. She falls not because you chase, but because you stand complete. She comes not because you push, but because you embody presence. In your stillness, your calm, your unwavering sense of self, the world and the hearts within it move toward you naturally, willingly, and with wonder. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, Dark Psychology Tricks That Make Her Obsessed. There is a subtle artistry in understanding the mind, in sensing the currents of thought and emotion that flow beneath the surface. This is not about coercion, nor about forcing desire. True fascination arises when one comprehends the unspoken rhythms of attention, curiosity, and longing, and moves alongside them with quiet awareness. Dark psychology, when applied with care, is less about manipulation and more about creating emotional resonance, a magnetic field that encourages interest, intrigue, and deep engagement without the need for overt persuasion. Consider the paradox of desire. It often flourishes in absence, in contrast, in what is not immediately given. When you offer mystery instead of transparency, calm instead of anxiety, choice instead of insistence, you invite her mind to fill the spaces you leave. The imagination begins to work in your favor, crafting thoughts and feelings around your presence, exploring the possibilities that you yourself do not force. It is here, in these gentle voids, that obsession can quietly take root, nurtured by curiosity and the subtle tension between access and elusiveness. The mind responds to patterns, repetition, and unpredictability. A thoughtful pause, a measured word, a moment of deliberate silence, each becomes a signal that communicates more than any speech could. When combined with genuine empathy and emotional attunement, these subtle cues create an invisible choreography. She feels seen, even as she wonders why she cannot fully grasp the rhythm of your inner world. She senses a depth that is not explained, a constancy that is not demanding, and a presence that does not need validation. In this space, fascination grows organically, without overt effort or force. Yet, the dark psychology is not about cruelty. It is about understanding the invisible levers of attention, the subtle ways human connection operates, and the ethical use of insight to inspire intrigue rather than control. It is about recognizing that people are drawn not to those who pursue relentlessly, but to those who maintain sovereignty over their own minds and emotions. When you inhabit this calm authority, she experiences a tension that is compelling, the curiosity of what is withheld, the allure of what is consistent yet unpredictable, the pull of someone who exists fully without needing her to complete them. In the quiet mastery of these principles, obsession is not manufactured. It arises naturally, a reflection of your inner balance, your emotional poise, and your mindful presence. She does not follow because she is coerced. She follows because she encounters a calm depth she cannot resist, a steady magnetism that encourages fascination and admiration. And in this, there is a gentle, almost hypnotic truth. The less you try to control, the more profoundly you influence. The less you demand attention, the more attention finds you. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the Machiavellian way to stay irresistible. There is a quiet allure in mastery not of others, but of oneself. To be irresistible is not to perform, to command attention, or to dominate the space around you. It is, instead, to cultivate an inner gravity so profound that the world naturally bends toward it. This is the essence of the Machiavellian approach, but stripped of cruelty or deception. It is a philosophy of self-possession, of thoughtful restraint, and of presence that feels effortless because it is rooted in authenticity. Irresistibility begins in the mind, in the way one carries thought, intention, and energy. It is the calm confidence of someone who does not seek approval, yet inspires admiration. The measured calm of someone who observes without judgment, yet is deeply attuned. She notices the subtleties, the way you listen, the way you respond without haste, the way you leave space in conversations and in silences. These are not tricks, nor calculated maneuvers. They are natural emanations of someone who understands themselves and moves through the world unshaken by uncertainty. The Machiavellian way is paradoxical. To attract, you often step back. To influence, you often refrain. Presence becomes more than physical. It is emotional, intellectual, and almost ethereal. When you allow yourself to exist fully without grasping, when you maintain boundaries without rigidity, you communicate something rare and magnetic: completeness. She senses that you are whole, and in that perception, fascination emerges. She is drawn not to what you give, but to what you embody, to the stability that contrasts with the unpredictable tides of emotion around her. Timing, subtlety, and emotional control are the silent pillars of this philosophy. A well-placed smile, a quiet word, a deliberate pause, these gestures resonate far beyond their immediate moment. They communicate depth, intention, and emotional intelligence. Yet they are understated, never heavy-handed, leaving space for curiosity to grow. In this space, admiration and desire intertwine, creating a bond that is compelling not because it is forced, but because it is freely given and deeply earned. To remain irresistible in this way is to accept that influence flows from inner mastery rather than external performance. It is to understand that mystery, calm, and emotional sovereignty are magnets for attention. It is to recognize that people are drawn to those who are complete within themselves, who act from awareness rather than impulse, and who carry their own energy with quiet authority. In embracing this path, you become a presence that is simultaneously soothing and intriguing, steady yet alive, familiar yet unknowable, a rhythm of existence that quietly invites the world to notice, to linger, and to return again and again. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to make any woman respect you instantly. Respect is not demanded. It cannot be purchased with words or gestures, nor forced through attention or effort. True respect arises from presence, from consistency, and from the quiet mastery of oneself. It is the reflection of inner integrity, the echo of calm confidence, and the resonance of someone who moves through the world without seeking approval, yet embodies a steady authority. In this way, respect is not a transaction, it is a response, a natural magnetism that emerges when others sense that you are grounded, self-aware, and unwavering. Consider the stillness of someone who knows their boundaries. There is no need for grand declarations or assertive demonstrations. The way they carry themselves, the subtle firmness in their tone, the steadiness of their gaze, all of these communicate a strength that cannot be ignored. She senses it instinctively, even before she can articulate it. Respect flows toward those who inhabit their own space fully, who act from awareness rather than impulse, and who remain composed in the face of shifting emotions and external pressures. Actions, more than words, are the language of respect. When you follow through on promises, when you uphold your principles, when you respond rather than react, you reveal a character that is dependable and authentic. Women, like all people, are drawn to the integrity that speaks without needing applause. In your restraint, in your consistency, and in your quiet adherence to your own values, you create a presence that is both magnetic and commanding, one that naturally earns admiration. Equally important is emotional sovereignty. She respects a man who maintains his composure, who navigates desire, curiosity, and attention with discernment, who does not allow emotions to dictate behavior. This is not coldness, nor detachment. It is an elegant mastery of self. By embodying this balance, you cultivate a space where admiration, trust, and respect naturally arise. She perceives that you are not swayed by trivial fluctuations, that your worth is inherent, and that your attention is deliberate, measured, and meaningful. Ultimately, respect is a mirror of your own presence. The more complete, calm, and intentional you are, the more it is reflected back. To earn it instantly is to embody the paradox: speak less, do more, move calmly, influence subtly, exist fully, and let the world respond. In this gentle mastery lies the profound truth: respect is not given, it is felt, and when it is felt, it resonates deeply, leaving an impression that lingers long after words have faded, in the quiet recognition of someone who is undeniably grounded, unwavering, and whole. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the silent power of being unavailable. There is a profound strength in absence. It is a quiet force, subtle yet unmistakable, that shifts the energy around you without a single word. To be unavailable is not to be distant in heart, nor to reject or repel, but to exist in a way that communicates your own completeness, your own rhythm, your own sovereignty. When you move through life with this calm independence, you discover a paradox. The less you offer, the more others are drawn to you. The silence, the space, the quiet gaps in your presence become fertile ground for fascination and attention. Imagine a vast night sky, dotted with stars, each one shining with its own light. Some are close, blazing brightly, easy to reach, yet fleeting in their appeal. Others are distant, seemingly untouchable, and yet their light draws the eye over and over, captivating imagination and desire alike. Being unavailable is like becoming one of those distant stars. You do not chase, you do not perform. You exist fully in your own orbit, steady, radiant, and patient. In this steady light, curiosity awakens, intrigue grows, and attention naturally flows toward you, unforced and organic. The silent power of unavailability lies not in coldness, but in self-possession. It is the ability to honor your time, your energy, your emotions, without bending to every expectation. It is the understanding that desire is heightened not by constant access, but by measured presence. By choosing when to engage and when to step back, you create a rhythm that invites pursuit, reflection, and emotional investment. She begins to notice the spaces you leave, the deliberate pauses, the calm constancy. And in these spaces, a subtle yearning emerges, an unconscious pull that draws attention naturally toward your centered energy. This is not manipulation. It is a reflection of inner mastery, a gentle articulation of boundaries, a quiet communication of worth. When you maintain your availability as a choice rather than a reaction, you signal that your life is complete, that your attention is earned, that your presence is meaningful. It is in this balance of proximity and distance, of engagement and restraint, that fascination thrives. She senses that you are not swayed by impulse, that your energy is deliberate, and that your world exists fully, whether she is present or not. To embody the silent power of being unavailable is to embrace a timeless truth. Desire flourishes in the spaces between, attention grows in measured absence, and connection is strongest when it is freely sought rather than demanded. In the gentle cadence of your own presence, in the calm authority of your independence, you create a rhythm that is quietly magnetic, endlessly intriguing, and profoundly compelling. It is in being fully yourself, complete, calm, and unapologetically whole, that the world, and those within it, are naturally drawn toward you. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, why women crave the man they can't predict. There is a peculiar fascination with mystery. The human mind, ever restless, is drawn to what cannot be fully understood, to patterns that shift just beyond perception, to energies that elude certainty. In relationships, predictability often breeds comfort, but comfort can easily slip into complacency. Desire, intrigue, and fascination, however, thrive on subtle uncertainty, on the gentle tension created by someone who moves with quiet unpredictability. It is not chaos, but a carefully balanced rhythm that keeps curiosity alive and attention engaged. Consider a river flowing through a landscape. Its path is never entirely linear. At times, it glides calmly over stones. At others, it swirls into eddies, revealing depths hidden beneath its surface. The river does not ask for attention, yet we watch it, captivated by its natural unpredictability. In the same way, a man who embodies controlled unpredictability becomes compelling. He responds in ways that are consistent in principle, but varied in expression, revealing layers over time, never fully exhausted, never fully known. She senses the depth, and she cannot help but lean in, to explore, to discover, to wonder. Unpredictability is not an excuse for inconsistency. It is an art of maintaining your own sovereignty while remaining responsive to the world. It is the ability to act from awareness rather than habit, to balance steadiness with occasional spontaneity, to keep life engaging without losing equilibrium. In these movements, subtle psychological currents are created. She feels your presence. She notices the shifts, and she experiences an ongoing interplay of curiosity and attachment. It is here, in the spaces between certainty and surprise, that fascination grows quietly but persistently. Yet unpredictability is more than a tool of attraction, it is a reflection of depth. She craves it not because she seeks control, but because it signals completeness. A man who is predictable in essence, yet unpredictable in expression, communicates confidence, emotional richness, and the ability to navigate life with mastery. The tension is magnetic because it is grounded. The allure is potent because it is genuine. Mystery, after all, is most compelling when it emerges naturally from authenticity rather than artifice. To embrace this dynamic is to understand a paradox. Fascination thrives not in chasing, but in eluding. Desire grows not in certainty, but in subtle ambiguity. Connection deepens not through full revelation, but through layers revealed over time. In your calm unpredictability, in the rhythm of measured mystery, you become a presence that is endlessly intriguing, profoundly magnetic, and quietly irresistible. She craves not what she can control, but what she cannot fully predict. And in this craving lies a silent, hypnotic bond. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of playing hard to get done right. There is a delicate art in restraint. To play hard to get is often misunderstood as manipulation, but in truth, it is a reflection of self-possession, of knowing your own worth, and of allowing space for desire to naturally awaken. It is the gentle science of absence, the quiet rhythm of measured attention, the understanding that longing is most potent when it is given room to grow. Desire, fascination, and curiosity flourish, not under pressure, but within the soft tension created by distance, calm, and the unspoken promise of presence. Imagine a garden left to grow naturally. Each plant receives sunlight, water, and care, but never interference. The flowers bloom on their own schedule, and their fragrance becomes most intoxicating precisely because it was never forced. In the same way, when you engage with attention thoughtfully, when you respond rather than chase, when you offer connection without desperation, the mind begins to wander toward you. She notices your rhythm, she senses your boundaries, and she begins to invest emotionally, curious to discover the depth that is quietly held just out of reach. Playing hard to get done right is not about withholding affection as a game. It is about embodying balance, responding with warmth, yet maintaining independence, showing interest, yet preserving your inner sovereignty, inviting closeness, yet never surrendering your calm. In this equilibrium lies a subtle psychological truth. Humans are drawn to what is earned, to what requires conscious attention, to what reveals value through restraint rather than overabundance. You become the prize not because you demand it, but because you allow it to be recognized through your consistent yet measured presence. This practice also fosters self-awareness. It reminds you that influence is not derived from insistence, but from presence. That attraction is not created through pursuit, but through patience. And that respect is built when boundaries are honored, not ignored. She senses this deeply, not in words, but in the energy of your calm assurance. In every carefully measured gesture, in every pause before response, in every quiet moment of composure, there is a signal that resonates far beyond immediate perception, leaving an imprint that lingers. To master this subtle art is to embrace the paradox of attraction. The more complete you are within yourself, the less you must chase. The more balanced your attention, the more it is sought. The more deliberate your presence, the more fascination naturally arises. Desire blooms not in the hands of insistence, but in the spaces carved by patience, self-mastery, and quiet intention. Playing hard to get, when done with integrity and calm awareness, becomes less a strategy and more a reflection of inner mastery, a rhythm that quietly draws her mind, heart, and curiosity closer, again and again. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, subtle mind games that make you the prize. There is an invisible dance that exists between presence and perception, a gentle rhythm in which influence flows without force, and attraction deepens without overt pursuit. These are the subtle mind games, not games of deception, but of conscious awareness, of understanding the currents of curiosity and desire that flow beneath the surface. They are the quiet techniques that allow you to become valued, admired, and sought after, simply by existing with calm confidence and intentionality. To be the prize is not about dominance. It is about embodying a presence that naturally inspires respect, interest, and fascination. Imagine a candle in a dark room. It does not shout its light, nor does it demand to be noticed. Yet, in its quiet radiance, attention is drawn, focus is captured, and warmth is felt. Subtle mind games are much like this candle. They illuminate without overwhelming, they invite without pressing, and they reveal without exposing everything at once. By allowing space for curiosity to operate, by providing glimpses rather than total access, you cultivate intrigue and attention that feels earned rather than taken. She begins to invest in the interaction because it is meaningful, layered, and deliberate. The essence of these subtle games lies in awareness and self-mastery. It is the ability to listen more than you speak, to observe more than you react, to respond with calm intention rather than instinctual impulse. Each pause, each measured word, each gentle smile or look carries significance far beyond the surface. It communicates depth, discernment, and emotional intelligence. She senses that your attention is not freely given to all, and it is in this deliberate selectivity that fascination takes root. The mind naturally follows what it perceives as valuable, rare, and composed. Yet these games are not manipulation in the traditional sense. They are reflections of authenticity. By holding your own emotional center, by allowing interactions to unfold without the compulsion to control outcomes, you create an environment in which respect, admiration, and desire arise naturally. She experiences a sense of intrigue, engagement, and subtle challenge, not because she is being coerced, but because she encounters someone who is complete, grounded, and emotionally sovereign. To become the prize is to embody a quiet paradox: give space, yet inspire closeness; remain calm, yet invite investment; be present, yet maintain depth. In the delicate interplay of these forces, subtle mind games transform into a living reflection of your inner mastery. They are not tricks, but the artful expression of awareness, patience, and presence, a rhythm that quietly captivates, draws attention, and ultimately positions you as someone worth seeking, appreciating, and returning to again and again. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: the advantage of never showing jealousy. Jealousy is a quiet thief of calm, a subtle tension that clouds clarity and dims the light of self-possession. To reveal it is to hand over power to circumstances, to let emotion dictate action rather than awareness. The man who masters himself understands that true influence, true respect, and true fascination are maintained not by reacting, but by observing, not by clinging, but by embodying emotional sovereignty. In choosing not to show jealousy, you cultivate a presence that is steady, composed, and quietly magnetic. Imagine a mountain standing tall against the shifting weather. Winds howl and storms rage, yet the summit remains steadfast, unwavering, untouched by turbulence. To never display jealousy is to inhabit this mountain's quiet authority, unshaken by fear, unreactive to perceived threats, immune to the need for validation. She senses this calm in you, feels it in the unspoken space between interactions, and is drawn to it. Attraction, respect, and curiosity deepen when one encounters someone who does not yield to insecurity, someone whose worth is self-contained rather than dependent. The advantage lies not in suppressing emotion artificially, but in mastering its flow internally. Awareness allows you to recognize moments that could trigger envy or possessiveness and respond with patience, discernment, and restraint. This emotional control sends a silent signal: your world is complete, your attention is deliberate, your energy is intentional. She feels it instinctively that you are not a man who will crumble under fleeting doubt or uncertainty, and in this perception, fascination grows naturally. Jealousy, left unchecked, disrupts harmony, distorts perception, and often drives the very outcomes it seeks to prevent. Restraint, on the other hand, cultivates clarity and magnetism. When you remain calm while the world shifts, when you choose observation over reaction, when you trust your own center rather than chase validation, you create a field of intrigue that is impossible to ignore. She is drawn to the serenity of someone who is steady rather than swayed, composed rather than entangled, self-contained rather than grasping. Ultimately, the power of never showing jealousy lies in its quiet paradox. By letting go of control, you gain influence. By maintaining calm, you inspire desire. By choosing composure over reaction, you become a presence that is compelling, magnetic, and profoundly respected. Emotional mastery is not coldness. It is a gentle authority that resonates far beyond words. It whispers of strength, stability, and depth, a quiet force that invites admiration and draws attention naturally, persistently, and irresistibly. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Why a man who values his mission comes first. There is a quiet magnetism in purpose, an undeniable gravity that draws attention not through words or charm, but through the steadfast pursuit of meaning. A man who values his mission does not bend to every distraction, does not yield to every whim, and does not lose himself in fleeting desire. Instead, he moves with clarity, intentionality, and unwavering focus. In this presence, there is a subtle allure, a sense that he is grounded in something larger than immediate circumstance, that his life carries direction and weight, and that his priorities reflect a depth that cannot be manufactured. Imagine a river carving its path through the mountains. It is persistent, steady, and committed, not swayed by obstacles or diversions. Along its banks, life flourishes, drawn to its vitality and constancy. In the same way, a man who prioritizes his mission becomes a center of quiet gravity. His energy is not scattered, his attention is not easily commandeered, and his time is carefully cultivated. She senses this steadiness, feels the rhythm of purpose in his presence, and is drawn toward it not because of force, but because of alignment with something rare and substantial. Mission-driven men carry an invisible aura of authority. They are measured in their responses, deliberate in their choices, and composed in the face of chaos. This is not rigidity, but mastery, the ability to engage fully without losing oneself to distraction or fleeting impulses. By placing his mission first, he communicates a truth that resonates subconsciously, that his worth is inherent, that his attention is intentional, and that his life is not defined by external approval. She notices this depth even before she can name it, and fascination naturally follows. There is also a subtle lesson in restraint embedded in purpose. When a man values his mission over immediate gratification, he sets a rhythm for engagement that balances presence with autonomy. Desire is drawn to him not because he seeks it, but because he embodies something rare: consistency, reliability, and depth. The pursuit is reversed. He does not chase attention, and yet attention seeks him. His inner world is complete, and this completion radiates outward, creating magnetic influence that requires no manipulation or coercion. Ultimately, prioritizing one's mission is a declaration of self-respect and mastery. It is a quiet, powerful signal that he exists fully in his own life, independent yet deeply compelling. In this alignment, fascination, attraction, and admiration arise naturally. The man who moves with purpose does not merely exist, he inspires, he captivates, and he becomes a presence that is quietly irresistible, a force of gravity in the ever-shifting landscape of human connection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Subtle teasing. Charm, without being needy. There is an art in teasing that is gentle, light, and rhythmic, a playful rhythm that engages the mind without ever grasping or insisting. Subtle teasing is not mockery, nor is it a game of dominance. It is the quiet dance of presence and wit, a soft interplay that sparks curiosity and draws attention, all while maintaining calm sovereignty. When delivered with awareness, it becomes a mirror for intrigue, a delicate invitation to explore connection without surrendering control. Imagine sunlight filtering through a canopy of leaves. Its warmth touches, illuminates, and stirs the world beneath. but never forces its path. Subtle teasing is similar. It brushes against perception, encourages reflection, and sparks interest. Yet it leaves space for imagination and choice. A gentle joke, a playful challenge, a teasing question, each is a brushstroke on the canvas of interaction. She notices the balance between engagement and restraint, the rhythm between warmth and mystery, and in this dance, fascination naturally deepens. Charm, in this context, is inseparable from presence. To tease without need is to communicate confidence, self-possession, and emotional intelligence. Each playful remark or subtle tease signals that your attention is a gift, your engagement is intentional, and your world is complete. It is the recognition that desire thrives not in clinging, but in sparking curiosity, not in insistence, but in the gentle push and pull of interaction. She senses this energy, and the mind leans in, captivated by the rhythm, intrigued by the balance, and drawn to the layers beneath. The key lies in timing and subtlety. A teasing comment, a fleeting smile, a measured jest. These moments should feel spontaneous, effortless, and attuned to the moment. They are never used to control or manipulate, but to create lightness, playfulness, and engagement. When combined with calm confidence, emotional restraint, and authenticity, this artful teasing communicates value far beyond words. It encourages investment without demanding it, fascination without coercion, and connection without compromise. Ultimately, charm without need is a reflection of mastery over oneself. It is the delicate paradox of being present yet unattached, playful yet grounded, engaging yet sovereign. By teasing subtly, you invite curiosity, spark attention, and cultivate attraction in a way that feels natural, profound, and deeply magnetic. In this gentle, rhythmic interplay, fascination grows, desire awakens, and connection flows, all guided by the quiet authority of presence, patience, and mindful intention. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the hidden strength in emotional restraint. There is a quiet power in restraint, a subtle authority that flows not from impulsive reaction, but from measured awareness. Emotional restraint is the ability to experience deeply, to feel fully, yet to choose your responses with care. It is the mastery of the self, a gentle strength that communicates stability, wisdom, and magnetic presence. When you cultivate this inner equilibrium, others sense it intuitively. They are drawn to the calm certainty that comes from someone who navigates life without being swept away by every surge of emotion. Imagine a calm lake, its surface reflecting the sky above, unshaken by passing winds. Beneath its stillness lies depth and vitality, currents moving quietly, deliberately, unseen yet profoundly present. Emotional restraint is this lake, composed in appearance, rich in depth, alive with awareness. She feels this presence. She notices your steadiness in moments of chaos, your composure when others react impulsively, and your ability to remain anchored even when attention, curiosity, or desire is in flux. In this subtle mastery, attraction is cultivated, respect is earned, and fascination deepens. Restraint is not suppression. It is understanding, choice, and intentionality. It allows you to respond rather than react, to influence through presence rather than insistence, and to maintain composure in the face of provocation or uncertainty. The man who embodies emotional restraint communicates strength without dominance, allure without effort, and depth without performance. This quiet power is profoundly magnetic because it is rare, and because it signals self-possession, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. In relationships, restraint fosters intrigue, trust, and curiosity. She perceives the measured attention, the thoughtful pauses, the calm reflection. In noticing your balance, she begins to invest emotionally, drawn not by compulsion, but by the quiet magnetism of someone who is fully present, yet unattached, fully engaged, yet sovereign. Emotional restraint invites her to explore connection willingly, to approach with interest, and to invest in a rhythm of interaction that feels natural and compelling. Ultimately, the hidden strength in emotional restraint lies in its paradox. By holding back, you invite deeper connection. By maintaining calm, you inspire fascination. By responding thoughtfully rather than impulsively, you become an unspoken authority. This quiet mastery of self radiates outward, shaping perception, guiding attention, and cultivating attraction with subtlety and grace. It is the art of being fully alive in your emotions, while never being enslaved by them, a rhythm of presence, patience, and sovereign calm that draws the world, and hearts within it, naturally toward you. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Why mystery beats oversharing every time. There is a quiet enchantment in the unknown, a subtle allure that draws attention not through explanation, but through suggestion. Mystery holds a space where imagination thrives, where curiosity awakens, and where fascination is born. Oversharing, by contrast, floods that space, leaving little room for intrigue, reflection, or desire. To maintain mystery is not to withhold care or honesty, but to move through interaction with measured disclosure, allowing your presence, energy, and depth to speak before words are needed. Imagine a distant horizon at twilight, its contours softened by shadow. You cannot see every detail, yet the mind is captivated by what lies beyond, curious, wondering, yearning to explore. Mystery operates in the same way. When you reveal selectively, when you share in layers rather than torrents, you invite engagement. She notices not only what you say, but what you leave unsaid. She senses the calm authority in your measured presence, and she begins to invest emotionally, intellectually, and imaginatively, filling the spaces you leave with fascination rather than assumption. Mystery requires patience and self-awareness. It demands an understanding that attention is drawn to what is rare, not what is immediate, to what is measured, not what is constant. By choosing what to reveal and when, by balancing openness with restraint, you create a rhythm that fosters curiosity, respect, and desire. Each word, each gesture, each moment of silence becomes meaningful, weighted with intention and resonance. She experiences your depth through subtle cues, your authenticity through deliberate presence, and your magnetic pull through the quiet authority of incompleteness. There is also an emotional elegance in mystery. It signals that your world is complete, that your attention is intentional, and that your presence is measured. She feels this energy instinctively. Fascination emerges, not because she is coerced or manipulated, but because your measured presence invites exploration, attention, and connection on her own terms. Mystery becomes a rhythm of engagement, a space where admiration grows naturally, and where emotional investment feels voluntary rather than compelled. Ultimately, mystery is not secrecy. It is the art of revealing depth gradually, of inviting attention without forcing it, of inspiring curiosity without controlling it. In the balance between presence and restraint, openness and silence, fascination flourishes. By embracing mystery, you create a quiet magnetism that is endlessly engaging, profoundly intriguing, and deeply irresistible. A subtle force that draws others in, layer by layer, thought by thought, heart by heart. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, keeping options open to maintain psychological leverage. There is a quiet strength in freedom, an understated power in the ability to choose without urgency, to exist without attachment to a single outcome. Keeping options open is not about indecision, nor is it about deceit. It is the art of cultivating autonomy, preserving inner balance, and honoring the vastness of possibility that life naturally offers. In relationships, this subtle openness communicates calm authority and self-possession, an unspoken magnetism that draws attention, respect, and fascination without need or insistence. Imagine a tree in a sunlit meadow, its branches spreading wide, each one able to sway independently with the wind. Its strength is not in rigidity, but in flexibility. Its allure is in the breadth of its presence, the way it engages the environment without losing its own center. In the same way, maintaining options cultivates psychological leverage. She senses that your attention is intentional, that your energy is deliberate, and that your life exists fully regardless of the fleeting currents of desire or distraction. This perception, subtle yet profound, naturally inspires curiosity, admiration, and engagement. Leverage in human connection arises from balance. When you allow yourself freedom, you do not cling to approval or chase validation. Instead, your focus rests on your own values, priorities, and emotional sovereignty. This is not cold calculation. It is quiet mastery. By existing fully within yourself while remaining receptive to the world, you create a rhythm of engagement that feels deliberate and magnetic. She experiences the tension between access and distance, familiarity and independence, and in this interplay, fascination deepens without effort or coercion. Keeping options open also nurtures emotional clarity. It allows you to navigate relationships from a place of insight rather than impulse, to make choices that align with your principles, and to preserve the equilibrium of your own heart. She senses the confidence in this composure, the absence of desperation, the presence of self-respect, the balance of interest without dependency. Each interaction becomes a dance of mutual awareness, where attention flows naturally to someone who is grounded, complete, and unshakably sovereign. Ultimately, maintaining options is less about strategy and more about embodiment. It is the conscious acknowledgement of your own value, the measured cultivation of presence, and the serene acceptance of the abundance of life's possibilities. In this quiet freedom, psychological leverage is not forced. It emerges organically, creating fascination, respect, and attraction that endure. By being fully yourself, complete and open, you invite engagement on terms that honor both your autonomy and hers, crafting a rhythm of connection that is subtle, magnetic, and profoundly compelling. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: why women test men and how to pass every time. Human connection is rarely linear. Within the subtle currents of attraction and relationship, tests naturally emerge. These tests are not conscious manipulations, nor are they challenges meant to provoke. They are reflections of curiosity, assessment, and the search for reliability. A woman tests, not to trap, but to understand, to measure stability, authenticity, and emotional depth. And the man who navigates these moments with awareness discovers a quiet power, the ability to inspire trust, fascination, and respect without coercion or force. Imagine the tide approaching a shoreline. It arrives with gentle persistence, probing the sand, leaving impressions that reveal the landscape beneath. In the same way, tests are tides of interaction. They surface patterns, intentions, and character. How you respond with calm, with patience, with measured composure communicates far more than any words could. Reactivity, insecurity, or overexposure signals instability. Calm observation, deliberate responses, and emotional sovereignty signal depth, reliability, and quiet authority. She perceives this instinctively, often before words are spoken, and fascination deepens when her mind recognizes that you are grounded, self-possessed, and unwavering. Passing these tests is less about strategy and more about mastery of self. It is about responding rather than reacting, observing rather than over-explaining, and embodying consistency over performance. Each test becomes an opportunity to reinforce the magnetic rhythm of your presence, the subtle balance between availability and restraint, attention and autonomy, curiosity and patience. In this rhythm, trust is cultivated, intrigue flourishes, and admiration naturally grows. Yet there is also an element of paradox in these interactions. The less you strive to prove yourself, the more respect and fascination arise. By maintaining calm detachment while remaining engaged, you communicate authenticity, self-confidence, and depth. Tests are not obstacles to be overcome, but mirrors reflecting the integrity of your character. She experiences the security, mystery, and emotional clarity that emerge from your measured responses, and in turn, her investment becomes deliberate, thoughtful, and enduring. Ultimately, understanding why tests occur and passing them gracefully is an exercise in presence. It is the quiet mastery of being fully yourself, steady, aware, and emotionally sovereign while navigating the ebb and flow of curiosity, challenge, and connection. In this gentle dance, attraction is nurtured, fascination is sustained, and respect emerges naturally. By embracing tests as a mirror of inner strength, you create a presence that is calm, magnetic, and profoundly compelling. inviting attention, trust, and admiration without effort or force. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. The role of timing in Machiavellian attraction. Time is an invisible rhythm that governs the dance of connection, the ebb and flow of curiosity, and the unfolding of desire. In attraction, timing is not accidental. It is the subtle orchestration of presence, restraint, and responsiveness. To act too soon is to oversaturate, to reveal too much too quickly. To wait too long is to risk fading from awareness, leaving interest untended. There is a quiet artistry in sensing the right moment, a rhythm that balances anticipation, patience, and deliberate engagement, allowing fascination to deepen naturally. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. It requires warmth, moisture, and time to germinate. Too much force or disruption can hinder growth. Too little care, and it may never emerge. Similarly, timing in attraction nurtures curiosity and attention without manipulation or coercion. Each gesture, each conversation, each subtle expression of interest carries weight not solely in content, but in its unfolding. When measured with awareness, these moments create a cadence that draws the mind, heart, and imagination inward, inspiring investment and intrigue without effort. The mastery of timing lies in attunement, listening to the currents of interaction, observing subtle shifts in mood, and responding from a place of calm sovereignty rather than impulsive desire. It is the patience to allow interest to develop, the insight to recognize when engagement is most meaningful, and the restraint to withhold immediacy in favor of depth. She senses the difference, the confidence of someone who moves with purpose, the subtle rhythm of a presence that is both steady and engaging, the unspoken assurance that her attention is valued because it is earned. There is a delicate paradox in this practice. The less you rush, the more attraction grows. The less you force, the more curiosity flourishes. By allowing time to shape interaction, you create layers of depth and intrigue that oversaturation or immediacy could never achieve. Each encounter becomes a measured step, a quiet unfolding of interest, a gentle pull toward connection that feels natural, organic, and deeply compelling. Ultimately, the role of timing in attraction is a meditation on patience, awareness, and rhythm. It teaches that fascination is cultivated, desire is nurtured, and emotional investment deepens when presence, restraint, and intention are aligned with the natural currents of interaction. In this mindful orchestration of moments, attraction becomes an elegant dance, subtle, magnetic, and profoundly enduring, guided by the quiet mastery of timing and the serene authority of one who moves thoughtfully through connection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. How to use silence to dominate a relationship. Silence is a language often overlooked, a rhythm more powerful than words, and a presence more compelling than explanation. In the quiet spaces between speech, in the deliberate pauses that punctuate interaction, there exists a subtle authority, a power that shapes attention, perception, and emotion without force or insistence. To master silence is to communicate depth, confidence, and emotional sovereignty, allowing curiosity, fascination, and respect to flourish naturally. Imagine a still lake at dawn, its surface smooth and reflective, untouched by ripple or distraction. In its calm, everything else, the rising sun, the distant hills, the gentle mist, is framed and enhanced. Silence in a relationship works in much the same way. It frames connection, elevates presence, and draws focus to moments of engagement. By speaking less, by pausing before response, and by resisting the urge to fill every void, you create a rhythm that invites attention rather than demanding it. She senses this quiet mastery instinctively, feeling the weight of presence without pressure, the subtle invitation without coercion. The strategic use of silence cultivates intrigue. It is not coldness, nor emotional detachment, but a conscious choice to maintain composure, observe carefully, and respond with measured intention. In this restraint, you allow emotional currents to flow, curiosity to awaken, and desire to deepen organically. Words, when eventually offered, carry greater weight, resonance, and significance. She perceives that your attention is not granted lightly, that your presence is deliberate, and that your energy is centered. And in this perception, fascination grows effortlessly. Silence also communicates strength and independence. It signals that your emotional world is complete, that your attention is intentional, and that your actions are guided by awareness rather than impulse. By resisting the compulsion to explain, justify, or react, you cultivate a subtle dominance, rooted not in coercion, but in presence. She experiences this authority as magnetic, compelling, and deeply reassuring, a reflection of someone who navigates connection with mastery rather than need. Ultimately, using silence to dominate a relationship is a gentle paradox. By withholding words, you command attention. By stepping back, you invite investment. By listening more than speaking, you reveal depth, stability, and quiet authority. In this mindful practice, fascination, respect, and emotional engagement flourish naturally. The pauses, the quiet, and the calm observance create a rhythm that is both hypnotic and profound, a subtle power that shapes connection, nurtures desire, and cultivates a presence that is endlessly magnetic and undeniably compelling. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the rule of withdrawing attention and making her chase. There is a quiet alchemy in absence, a subtle power in the spaces we allow between ourselves and others. Withdrawing attention is not about indifference or cruelty. It is a deliberate act of presence through absence. By stepping back, even slightly, you invite reflection, curiosity, and emotional investment. The mind, drawn to what is fleeting or scarce, begins to seek, to ponder, and to re-engage with heightened awareness. In this gentle dance, fascination emerges naturally, without effort or coercion. Imagine the tide retreating from the shore, leaving traces in the sand, only to return with renewed force and rhythm. In the ebb of your attention, a similar dynamic unfolds. She notices the shift, the calm pause, the measured distance, the space where engagement once flowed freely. And in this noticing, she begins to invest emotionally, to anticipate, to wonder. The subtle withdrawal of attention becomes a quiet invitation, a magnetic force that shapes desire without demanding it. The rule is not to withhold arbitrarily, but to act with awareness. Timing, consistency, and intentionality matter. Attention is not a weapon, nor a game. It is an energy that flows naturally when guided by self-possession. By consciously choosing when to engage and when to step back, you signal that your life is complete, your presence is intentional, and your energy is valued. She perceives this rhythm instinctively, a balance between availability and restraint, connection and independence, curiosity and clarity. There is also an emotional elegance in this practice. By withdrawing attention thoughtfully, you cultivate intrigue and respect, allowing desire to deepen rather than dissipate. She experiences the subtle shift as a reflection of strength, composure, and confidence, a reminder that fascination thrives not through insistence, but through gentle orchestration. This measured dance of attention and absence enhances the quality of connection, encouraging engagement that is thoughtful, deliberate, and emotionally resonant. Ultimately, the power of withdrawing attention lies in its paradox. By letting go, you gain influence. By stepping back, you invite pursuit. By embracing absence with awareness, you amplify presence. The rhythm of giving and withholding attention creates a magnetic pulse in relationships, a quiet authority that is deeply compelling and endlessly engaging. In this mindful practice, attraction is nurtured, fascination is sustained, and emotional investment flows naturally, all guided by the subtle mastery of absence, attention, and the gentle art of making her chase. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, how to flip the power in any relationship. Power in relationships is often imagined as dominance, control, or force, but true influence flows quietly, subtly, and without coercion. It is the rhythm of presence and awareness, the delicate balance between attention and detachment, the art of guiding interaction through calm composure rather than insistence. To flip the power is not to manipulate, but to embody a sovereign self, a presence that naturally shapes dynamics, fosters respect, and invites engagement. Imagine a river meeting a bend in the landscape. The water does not resist the contours, nor does it attempt to force the path. Instead, it flows with awareness, navigating each curve, deepening where needed, and embracing the rhythm of the terrain. In relationships, this same principle applies. By maintaining emotional clarity, observing without reacting, and engaging with intention, you shift influence from external circumstance to internal mastery. She senses this groundedness, feels it in the energy you radiate, and naturally aligns her attention and respect with your presence. Flipping the power begins with self-possession, when your sense of worth is independent of approval, when your calm remains unshaken by provocation or uncertainty. The balance of interaction tilts subtly in your favor. This is not forceful, but magnetic, a quiet authority that inspires curiosity, admiration, and emotional investment. By responding rather than reacting, by guiding rather than chasing, you create an environment in which connection is thoughtful, desire is cultivated, and respect is reinforced without effort or insistence. There is also an emotional intelligence embedded in this practice. Recognizing patterns, anticipating responses, and understanding the subtle currents of interaction allows you to navigate relationships with grace. The key lies in timing, restraint, and presence. When to speak, when to pause, when to engage fully, and when to step back. Each choice becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of interaction, shaping dynamics while preserving authenticity and integrity. Ultimately, flipping the power is a meditation in sovereignty. It is the practice of aligning your internal world with your external presence, of cultivating influence through calm awareness, and of allowing attraction, respect, and fascination to arise naturally. By mastering your energy, attention, and intention, you shift the balance not through coercion, but through quiet authority, a subtle, magnetic presence that guides connection, nurtures intrigue, and establishes a rhythm of engagement that is both profound and enduring. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. Why too much affection kills attraction. Affection is a delicate currency, a quiet expression of connection, warmth, and care. Yet, when offered too freely, too quickly, or without restraint, it can diminish its own power. The heart perceives abundance differently than scarcity. Desire and curiosity are often sparked not by saturation, but by measured attention and thoughtful engagement. Too much affection, however well-intentioned, risks dissolving mystery, flattening intrigue, and shifting the rhythm of attraction from admiration to expectation. Imagine a candle whose flame is burned too brightly for too long. It illuminates, it warms, yet eventually, it consumes itself, losing the gentle allure that first captivated the senses. Affection, like this flame, carries potency when measured and subtlety when deliberate. By balancing warmth with restraint, by offering connection without urgency, you preserve the natural tension that draws attention, invites curiosity, and deepens emotional investment. She senses the difference instinctively, recognizing presence that is intentional versus attention that is desperate. The wisdom lies in intention. Each gesture, each word, each moment of connection should carry meaning and significance. Emotional energy is most magnetic when it is neither forced nor overextended. By giving affection thoughtfully, you create a rhythm of engagement where your presence is valued, your attention is sought, and your connection is cherished. She experiences this not as scarcity, but as a reflection of your own self-possession, balance, and mastery over desire. Too much affection can also erode psychological intrigue. When availability is constant, when emotional expression is unchecked, the mind begins to take presence for granted. Fascination wanes not because affection is wrong, but because it is no longer rare, thoughtful, or deliberate. By maintaining equilibrium between warmth and restraint, attention and distance, presence and autonomy, you create a subtle pull, a rhythm that fosters curiosity, respect, and enduring desire. Ultimately, the lesson is paradoxical yet simple. Affection is powerful, but only when guided by awareness. The less you overextend, the more she invests. The more measured your attention, the deeper her curiosity. The more intentional your warmth, the more magnetic your presence. By navigating this delicate balance, you cultivate a rhythm in which admiration, fascination, and emotional investment flourish naturally. A gentle, hypnotic interplay that sustains attraction, preserves mystery, and honors the quiet mastery of emotional sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. The strategic use of distance in love. Distance is often misunderstood, seen as coldness or withdrawal. Yet when applied with awareness, it becomes a profound tool of attraction, reflection, and emotional clarity. Strategic distance is not about avoidance, nor is it about creating tension for its own sake. It is the conscious shaping of space, a rhythm of presence and absence that allows curiosity to awaken, desire to deepen, and connection to grow in meaningful ways. Imagine a bird in flight, gliding across open skies. Its path is fluid, expansive, and unrestrained, yet it returns with grace to the branches it chooses. Distance, when employed with intention, mirrors this pattern. By allowing space, you cultivate autonomy and emotional sovereignty, demonstrating that your life, attention, and energy are complete in themselves. She senses this equilibrium instinctively, the calm confidence that comes from someone who is engaged without being dependent, present without being consumed. The strategic use of distance also invites reflection. Absence provides perspective, allowing emotions to settle, curiosity to flourish, and attention to sharpen. When you step back at the right moments, interactions gain meaning. When you re-engage, your presence carries weight, depth, and resonance. This is not manipulation. It is mindfulness, an awareness of how presence, attention, and energy shape attraction. Each measured pause and each deliberate return is a gentle signal of autonomy, stability, and emotional intelligence. There is a subtle beauty in this practice. It balances engagement with self-possession, connection with independence, and intrigue with authenticity. Distance preserves mystery, honors your priorities, and cultivates fascination by letting her experience you as someone fully alive in your own world. She invests in attention and emotional energy because it is meaningful, not obligatory. The ebb and flow of connection, orchestrated with awareness, mirrors natural rhythms and deepens fascination without coercion. Ultimately, the strategic use of distance is a meditation on self-mastery. It teaches patience, balance, and the subtle power of presence through absence. By stepping back intentionally, you enhance emotional impact, preserve intrigue, and cultivate respect, fascination, and desire. In this gentle, measured rhythm, love becomes a dynamic interplay, a hypnotic, magnetic dance where attention is earned, presence is valued, and connection thrives. Distance, when wielded consciously, transforms relationships into spaces of curiosity, emotional resonance, and enduring attraction, revealing the quiet mastery of emotional sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, turning emotional chaos into psychological control. Life is often unpredictable. Emotions ripple like wind across open water, and relationships carry their own storms of intensity. Emotional chaos is natural, but its presence need not dictate your experience or undermine your influence. There exists a quiet mastery in transforming turbulence into calm, in navigating unpredictability with awareness, and in shaping perception through measured responses. Psychological control, in this context, is not about domination or coercion. It is about the serene cultivation of presence, clarity, and influence amidst the shifting currents of emotion. Imagine a lighthouse standing on jagged cliffs. Storms crash relentlessly against its foundation. Winds howl and waves rage, yet the light remains steadfast, unwavering, illuminating a safe path through chaos. In the same way, a man who maintains composure amidst emotional upheaval becomes a source of stability and guidance. She senses this quiet authority instinctively, the calm in the face of unpredictability, the clarity in moments of confusion, the steady presence when intensity threatens to overwhelm. Your mastery lies not in controlling her emotions, but in regulating your own, and in using this balance to guide connection. Transforming chaos into psychological control requires awareness, patience, and discernment. Observe, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Recognize patterns, anticipate triggers, and maintain a grounded presence. By embodying calm amidst turbulence, you create an emotional rhythm that naturally draws attention, fosters trust, and deepens fascination. Your steadiness becomes magnetic, your composure contagious, and your presence a quietly compelling force that invites engagement on thoughtful, intentional terms. There is also a paradoxical elegance in this approach. The more you maintain calm, the more influence you exert. Not through force, but through presence. Not through demand, but through example. Emotional chaos, when approached with awareness, becomes a canvas for influence, an opportunity to demonstrate mastery, and a subtle way to inspire respect, curiosity, and admiration. Ultimately, turning emotional chaos into psychological control is a meditation in self-possession. It is the practice of observing without being consumed, engaging without being manipulated, and shaping the rhythm of interaction through steady awareness. In this gentle mastery, fascination deepens, connection strengthens, and influence flows naturally. The storm becomes not a threat, but a space for quiet authority, a presence that is both magnetic and profoundly enduring, resonating with the subtle power of emotional sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to stay calm when she pulls away. The moment someone steps back, whether intentionally or unconsciously, can stir uncertainty, doubt, or longing. Yet within this pause lies an opportunity, a quiet space to exercise presence, patience, and emotional mastery. Staying calm when she pulls away is not about control or manipulation. It is about the serene acknowledgement of impermanence, the cultivation of inner equilibrium, and the subtle reinforcement of self-possession. In this calm, attraction deepens, curiosity awakens, and fascination unfolds naturally. Imagine a mountain standing against the wind. The storm rages around it, yet it remains unmoved, grounded, and unshaken. Your composure mirrors this mountain, stable, deliberate, and profoundly magnetic. When she retreats, she does not feel pressure, demand, or coercion. Instead, she senses your calm authority, your emotional sovereignty, and your capacity to navigate space and distance without losing your center. In this presence, fascination grows organically, trust strengthens, and respect is quietly earned. The art lies in restraint, observation, and measured reflection. Resist the urge to over-explain, to chase, or to fill the silence with anxious words. Instead, embrace the pause as a rhythm of connection, a moment of reflection, and a space for anticipation. By maintaining clarity and composure, you communicate that your world is complete, your attention is deliberate, and your presence is earned rather than demanded. She perceives this balance instinctively, a tension of space and engagement that draws her back without force or insistence. There is also a subtle beauty in emotional neutrality. By remaining calm, you create a mirror for her emotional state, allowing her to reflect, reassess, and reconnect on her own terms. This is not passivity, it is mindful engagement, a demonstration of emotional intelligence that naturally guides interaction. Your calm becomes magnetic, your patience a quiet authority, and your presence a steady anchor amidst uncertainty. Ultimately, staying calm when she pulls away is a practice in mastery, the mastery of self, attention, and timing. It is the gentle cultivation of patience, the mindful orchestration of presence, and the subtle shaping of attraction through awareness rather than coercion. In this calm, fascination deepens, connection stabilizes, and desire emerges naturally, carried on the quiet authority of one who knows that true influence arises not from pressure, but from the serene mastery of the self and the graceful rhythm of engagement. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: the hidden benefit of not explaining yourself. There is an understated power in silence, a quiet authority in allowing actions, presence, and intention to speak for themselves. Explaining oneself is often instinctive, a reflex to justify, clarify, or be understood. Yet, over-explanation can diminish intrigue, erode authority, and dilute fascination. The hidden benefit of not explaining yourself lies in the creation of space for curiosity, reflection, and the natural unfolding of perception. By stepping back from constant justification, You cultivate a magnetic presence that communicates depth without words, confidence without assertion, and authenticity without performance. Imagine a river flowing smoothly through a valley. It does not narrate its journey, nor announce its direction. Yet everything around it, the landscape, the reflections, the life it nourishes, perceives its power, its rhythm, and its influence. In relationships, this is the essence of not explaining oneself. Your actions, choices, and presence carry clarity and weight. She observes, she reflects, and she invests emotionally without the need for constant justification. Intrigue deepens naturally, and attention is earned rather than requested. This practice cultivates emotional sovereignty. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, you preserve the integrity of your energy and the rhythm of interaction. You demonstrate that your world is complete, that your presence is intentional, and that your attention is a gift rather than a demand. Silence and measured disclosure signal self-possession, signaling that fascination, respect, and curiosity emerge naturally when interaction is guided by awareness rather than reaction. There is also a subtle psychological elegance here. Mystery thrives in the absence of overexposure. By not explaining yourself, you allow her imagination to engage, her curiosity to awaken, and her attention to focus. She experiences your authenticity not in words, but in presence, consistency, and the quiet assurance that your life, values, and intentions are aligned. This magnetic rhythm inspires voluntary investment and emotional engagement, deepening attraction without manipulation. Ultimately, the hidden benefit of not explaining yourself lies in mastery of self, attention, and energy. It is the practice of allowing presence to communicate authority, restraint to foster intrigue, and silence to cultivate curiosity. By stepping away from the compulsion to justify, you create a subtle, hypnotic force, a presence that draws, fascinates, and commands respect effortlessly. In this gentle discipline, influence flows naturally, connection deepens organically, and attraction becomes both profound and enduring. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. How to read female manipulation tactics. Like a book, human interaction is a tapestry woven with intention, perception, and subtle influence. Within relationships, patterns emerge, moments of testing, persuasion, or gentle provocation. To read these tactics like a book is not to distrust or dominate, but to cultivate awareness, discernment, and emotional clarity. By understanding the underlying currents of behavior, you gain insight into motivations, emotional needs, and hidden dynamics, allowing connection to unfold with wisdom, composure, and balance. Imagine walking through a forest at dawn. The mist hovers, the path twists, and shadows play across the trees. Each movement, each sound, offers clues about the terrain, about hidden life, about the rhythm of the forest. Similarly, subtle manipulations or tests in interaction are clues, markers of emotional intent, signals of curiosity, and invitations to observe carefully. By noticing these nuances without reacting impulsively, you cultivate an inner authority that communicates understanding, patience, and grounded presence. She senses this awareness, often before words are exchanged, and the rhythm of connection deepens naturally. The key lies in perception without judgment. Reading tactics is not about labeling or controlling. It is about observing patterns, anticipating responses, and maintaining composure. Emotional intelligence emerges in recognizing when actions are expressions of need, curiosity, or desire, rather than threats or challenges. By responding with calm insight, rather than defensiveness, you create a dynamic of respect, intrigue, and voluntary engagement. Your presence becomes magnetic because it is steady, perceptive, and deliberate. There is also a subtle paradox. The more you understand without interference, the more influence you hold. By discerning the patterns quietly, you allow space for her to reveal herself naturally, while maintaining the balance of attention, autonomy, and emotional rhythm. Fascination grows because perception itself communicates mastery, an unspoken authority that is felt rather than explained. Ultimately, learning to read subtle dynamics like a book is a meditation in awareness. It is the practice of observing without being consumed, understanding without controlling, and navigating interaction with measured composure. In this gentle mastery, connection deepens, attraction is cultivated, and influence flows organically. By attuning to the nuances of behavior, you create a presence that is quietly magnetic, profoundly engaging, and enduringly compelling. A calm authority that guides the rhythm of interaction with insight, patience, and subtle elegance. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, psychological triggers that make her afraid to lose you. Fear is a subtle teacher, not in its intensity, but in its ability to clarify priorities, deepen awareness, and awaken attention. In relationships, certain psychological triggers, when employed with awareness and balance, can cultivate respect, fascination, and voluntary emotional investment. These triggers are not manipulative in the coercive sense, but reflective of natural human tendencies: the desire for connection, the value of rarity, and the draw of emotional depth. Understanding them allows presence to be magnetic, subtle, and profoundly influential. Imagine a rare bloom in a quiet meadow, visible only to those who pause and notice. Its beauty is enhanced by scarcity, by timing, and by the attentive observation it invites. So too, the awareness of one's value in connection, expressed through measured attention, deliberate presence, and emotional consistency, awakens a subtle fear of loss, not in alarm, but in the recognition of significance. She senses your depth, your self-possession, and the stability of your energy. In this awareness, curiosity deepens, fascination grows, and emotional engagement becomes thoughtful, intentional, and enduring. The power of psychological triggers lies in balance. It is not about creating insecurity, but about cultivating subtle contrasts: presence and absence, attention and restraint, engagement and autonomy. By thoughtfully embodying these dynamics, you communicate that your energy is complete, your presence is intentional, and your attention is valuable. She perceives this clarity instinctively, recognizing that your connection is not merely available, but meaningful, worthy of consideration, and aligned with purpose. There is also an elegance in emotional rhythm. By maintaining measured responsiveness, by honoring boundaries, and by remaining steady amidst shifting emotional currents, you reinforce intrigue and respect without coercion. The subtle tension of possibility, the quiet awareness that your attention is thoughtful rather than automatic, awakens fascination naturally, allowing connection to deepen on her own terms. Ultimately, understanding these psychological triggers is a meditation in presence, balance, and self-mastery. It is the gentle cultivation of influence through awareness, the subtle orchestration of attention and absence, and the mindful shaping of interaction through calm, deliberate energy. In this rhythm, she becomes attuned to your value, invested in the depth of your presence, and inspired to engage thoughtfully, creating a connection that is magnetic, enduring, and profoundly compelling, a reflection of quiet mastery and emotional sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to create emotional uncertainty without being toxic. Uncertainty is often feared, misunderstood, or even demonized. Yet in the subtle rhythms of human connection, it holds profound potential. Emotional uncertainty, when cultivated with care and awareness, becomes a gentle invitation for curiosity, reflection, and engagement. It is not manipulation, coercion, or cruelty. It is the art of maintaining balance, preserving intrigue, and fostering fascination while remaining grounded, authentic, and emotionally sovereign. Imagine the shifting sky at twilight, where colors blend and boundaries dissolve between night and day. There is beauty in this uncertainty, a soft tension that captivates the senses and invites contemplation. Similarly, emotional uncertainty in connection encourages engagement not through control, but through subtle contrasts: attention and absence, clarity and mystery, predictability and surprise. She senses this rhythm instinctively, drawn to the depth, composure, and layered presence that you embody. The key is intention. Creating emotional uncertainty is not about confusing, misleading, or provoking anxiety. It is about preserving your autonomy, cultivating patience, and embodying a presence that is complete and magnetic. By allowing interactions to breathe, By resisting overexposure or oversharing, and by maintaining measured responsiveness, you encourage curiosity, desire, and investment without pressure. The tension that emerges is gentle, inviting reflection rather than conflict, and fascination rather than fear. There is a paradoxical elegance in this practice. The more secure you are in yourself, the more uncertainty you can allow to exist around you. She notices this stability, this calm rooted in authenticity, and her attention deepens naturally. The interplay of predictability and surprise creates a rhythm that is hypnotic, drawing emotional investment while honoring freedom and autonomy. In this way, emotional uncertainty becomes a tool of influence that inspires admiration, engagement, and thoughtful connection. Ultimately, cultivating emotional uncertainty without toxicity is a meditation in awareness and presence. It is the gentle balance between revealing and withholding, between engagement and detachment, between clarity and mystery. In this mindful orchestration, fascination deepens, respect is earned, and desire grows organically. The uncertainty you cultivate is not fearsome, but magnetic, not destabilizing, but enchanting, a subtle rhythm that nurtures connection, elevates attraction, and reflects the quiet mastery of emotional sovereignty in human interaction. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. The balance between dominance and desire. Within the subtle dance of attraction, dominance and desire exist not as opposites, but as complementary forces. One conveys presence, confidence, and authority. The other nurtures connection, curiosity, and emotional resonance. The mastery lies in harmonizing these currents, embodying strength without rigidity, guiding interaction without coercion, and inviting fascination without losing authenticity. When balanced thoughtfully, dominance amplifies desire, and desire enriches dominance, creating a rhythm that captivates the heart and mind simultaneously. Imagine the ocean, vast and unyielding, yet capable of gentle caresses along the shore. Its power is undeniable, its presence commanding, yet its touch inspires connection, reflection, and awe. In human interaction, this balance functions similarly. Dominance, expressed through calm authority, emotional sovereignty, and measured restraint, draws attention naturally. Desire, expressed through warmth, presence, and thoughtful engagement, nurtures connection without diminishing strength. Together, they form a dynamic interplay, magnetic, compelling, and profoundly resonant. The subtlety lies in self-awareness. Dominance without empathy can create distance, coldness, or resistance. Desire without control risks overexposure, neediness, or diminished fascination. By attuning to your energy, observing her responses, and modulating your presence, you create a rhythm that feels effortless yet powerful. She senses your balance intuitively, the grounded authority that commands respect, paired with the attentiveness and warmth that inspire curiosity and emotional investment. There is also a paradox in this balance. Strength deepens connection, and connection amplifies influence. When you navigate with awareness, your presence becomes magnetic not through force, but through alignment, authenticity, and clarity. The push and pull of dominance and desire mirrors natural rhythms in nature, life, and emotion. A subtle cadence that captivates attention while fostering trust, respect, and fascination. Ultimately, the balance between dominance and desire is a meditation in harmony. It is the practice of embodying authority while remaining approachable, guiding interaction while honoring autonomy, and cultivating intrigue while nurturing connection. In this gentle mastery, attraction flows naturally, respect is earned effortlessly, and fascination deepens organically. Like the ocean, you become both commanding and inviting a presence that is magnetic, enduring, and profoundly captivating, guided by the quiet artistry of emotional and relational sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. How Machiavellian men control conversations subtly. Conversation is more than words. It is a landscape of energy, intention, and perception. To guide dialogue subtly is not to dominate or manipulate, but to navigate the currents of interaction with awareness, presence, and calm authority. In this quiet mastery, influence emerges naturally, curiosity deepens, and connection unfolds with thoughtfulness and nuance. Words become instruments, pauses become punctuation, and listening becomes a portal into understanding, shaping both attention and engagement without force. Imagine a skilled musician, fingers gliding over strings, producing melodies that resonate effortlessly with the listener. The notes are deliberate, precise, and yet they allow space for interpretation, reflection, and emotional response. Similarly, subtle conversational control arises when speech is measured. Responses are deliberate, and silence is embraced as much as words. By observing, listening, and guiding with intention, a man communicates presence, clarity, and authority that is felt more than stated, inspiring attention and respect without overt effort. The essence of this practice lies in attunement. Every question, comment, and pause carries weight not just in content, but in timing, tone, and context. By understanding the rhythms of dialogue, anticipating responses, and choosing words that invite reflection rather than react impulsively, a subtle influence takes shape. She senses this rhythm instinctively, drawn to presence that is deliberate, grounded, and emotionally aware. Fascination grows not through force, but through the elegance of measured engagement. There is a delicate balance here. Subtle guidance must never become coercion or disregard. Emotional intelligence ensures that influence is exercised with respect, awareness, and integrity. By reading cues, adjusting energy, and maintaining composure, a man shapes the flow of conversation while preserving autonomy, curiosity, and genuine connection. Each pause, each carefully framed statement, and each attentive silence becomes part of a dynamic rhythm, one that is quietly magnetic, profoundly engaging, and naturally authoritative. Ultimately, the subtle control of conversation is a meditation in presence, awareness, and emotional mastery. It teaches that influence arises not from force, but from alignment, timing, and attunement. By navigating dialogue with care and mindfulness, attraction deepens, trust is reinforced, and fascination flourishes organically. In this gentle artistry, every word, pause, and reflection carries meaning, a quiet authority that guides connection, fosters intrigue, and resonates with the enduring power of subtle mastery in human interaction. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the power of indifference. Why she obeys the unmoved. Indifference is a quiet force, a subtle energy that communicates composure, self-possession, and emotional sovereignty. It is not coldness or detachment, but a calm awareness that one's value, attention, and presence are complete within themselves. When expressed thoughtfully, indifference awakens curiosity, fosters fascination, and inspires voluntary emotional investment. She is drawn not by effort or pursuit, but by the magnetic rhythm of someone who is steady, unmoved, and fully aligned with their own internal world. Imagine a tree standing alone in a vast field, its roots deep, branches steady, leaves rustling in the wind. The storm may rage, the sun may blaze, yet the tree's presence is constant. In relationships, the unmoved man mirrors this tree, grounded in self-awareness, calm in demeanor, and unshaken by provocation or need. By remaining centered, he communicates confidence, depth, and emotional stability. She perceives this strength instinctively, responding not to coercion, but to the allure of presence itself. The subtlety of indifference lies in its restraint. It is a choice to engage thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, to preserve composure rather than surrender to emotional turbulence. By offering measured attention and creating space for curiosity, you invite engagement without pressure. The absence of overreaction, of urgent pursuit, or of constant reassurance creates an atmosphere where emotional investment emerges naturally. Fascination deepens because attention feels earned, presence feels intentional, and interaction carries significance. There is a paradoxical elegance in this approach. The more you remain unmoved, the more influence you hold. Stability inspires respect, calmness fosters attraction, and restraint heightens intrigue. She is not compelled by force, but drawn by the quiet mastery of someone who navigates connection with awareness, patience, and authenticity. In this way, indifference becomes a subtle power, shaping attention, guiding engagement, and cultivating desire through presence rather than insistence. Ultimately, the power of indifference is a meditation in self-mastery. It is the practice of remaining grounded, composed, and unwavering in the face of uncertainty. By embodying calm authority and thoughtful restraint, you cultivate fascination, deepen connection, and inspire voluntary investment. In the quiet rhythm of the unmoved, attraction flourishes naturally, respect is earned effortlessly, and presence becomes magnetic, a reflection of enduring emotional sovereignty, subtle mastery, and profound relational influence. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to make her invest emotionally before you do. Human connection is a dance of energy, attention, and emotional resonance. One of the most subtle arts in attraction is guiding her to invest emotionally first, not through manipulation, but through presence, composure, and the quiet cultivation of intrigue. When she begins to invest before you fully reveal yourself, the connection deepens naturally, fascination grows organically, and mutual engagement becomes thoughtful, deliberate, and enduring. Imagine the seed lying dormant in the soil, waiting for water, sunlight, and warmth. It cannot force growth, but when conditions align, life emerges spontaneously, steadily, and with resilience. Similarly, emotional investment cannot be demanded, only invited through careful presence, measured attention, and the subtle rhythm of interaction. By allowing her space to engage, to wonder, and to reflect, you create an environment where curiosity blossoms, attention is earned, and desire deepens naturally. The subtlety lies in patience. Resist the urge to rush, to overexpose, or to fill the silence with over-attention. Instead, embody self-possession, calm authority, and intentional engagement. By being complete in your own world, and by allowing her to take the first steps in emotional investment, you create a magnetic tension that nurtures intrigue and admiration. She perceives this independence intuitively, and in response, her focus, curiosity, and attention are naturally directed toward you. There is also an elegance in this approach. The more you withhold urgency and insistence, the more she seeks, reflects, and invests. Each interaction becomes layered, meaningful, and memorable. Emotional investment that emerges in response to presence is far more compelling than that which is coaxed or demanded. It fosters connection rooted in choice, fascination, and authenticity, rather than obligation or habit. Ultimately, guiding her to invest emotionally before you do is a meditation in awareness and self-mastery. It is the practice of embodying completeness, creating subtle rhythms of engagement, and allowing attraction to unfold organically. By cultivating patience, presence, and composure, you inspire voluntary connection, deepen fascination, and nurture a bond that resonates with authenticity. In this gentle, mindful orchestration, emotional investment flows naturally, attention is meaningful, and attraction is sustained, a quiet reflection of relational mastery, subtle influence, and enduring emotional sovereignty. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: gaslighting versus emotional intelligence. The fine line. Words carry power, energy, and intention. They can uplift, guide, and illuminate, or they can confuse, distort, and destabilize. In the subtle dance of human connection, the line between influence and manipulation is delicate, a threshold that requires awareness, ethical clarity, and emotional intelligence. Gaslighting undermines trust and autonomy, leaving the other person disoriented. Emotional intelligence, in contrast, navigates perception, response, and understanding with clarity, empathy, and presence. The fine line is not in control over another, but in mastery of oneself and the subtle orchestration of interaction. Imagine the calm surface of a pond, reflecting the sky. A single ripple may disturb its perfection, yet awareness allows the observer to understand its origin, its path, and its return to stillness. Emotional intelligence functions similarly. It recognizes moments of turbulence, observes their source, and guides interaction thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. By cultivating this awareness, you influence dynamics without deception, respond without overreaction, and maintain clarity, while others may be lost in the currents of emotion. The essence of this practice lies in integrity. Emotional intelligence is not about confusing someone to gain advantage. It is about understanding motivations, anticipating responses, and engaging with mindful presence. By recognizing patterns of behavior, by listening deeply, and by maintaining composure, you navigate conversations and interactions with clarity, subtle authority, and ethical balance. Fascination and respect emerge not from coercion, but from the perception of awareness, patience, and insight. There is also a paradox in restraint. The more you master your own reactions, the more influence you wield. Stability, clarity, and measured response naturally draw attention, admiration, and curiosity. Presence, rather than force, becomes the medium through which connection deepens, engagement strengthens, and attraction persists. She senses this awareness instinctively, responding to calm authority and thoughtful attention, rather than confusion or manipulation. Ultimately, understanding the line between gaslighting and emotional intelligence is a meditation in self-mastery. It is the practice of guiding connection with awareness, responding with composure, and shaping interaction through insight rather than deceit. In this mindful balance, influence is ethical, fascination deepens, and connection becomes magnetic and enduring. Words and presence transform into instruments of clarity and resonance, cultivating trust, admiration, and subtle relational authority, a reflection of emotional sovereignty and profound mastery in human engagement. Now, let's move on to the next chapter. How to turn her ego into your advantage. Ego is a mirror, reflecting desires, fears, and the deep currents of self-perception. It is neither inherently negative nor positive, but a source of energy that can shape attention, engagement, and connection. To turn her ego into your advantage is not to manipulate or diminish, but to align awareness with subtle observation, encouraging admiration, reflection, and voluntary emotional investment. When approached thoughtfully, ego becomes a bridge, a pathway for fascination, respect, and curiosity to flourish naturally. Imagine sunlight falling on a polished surface, revealing its sheen without forcing it. The reflection is neither diminished nor inflated, but appreciated, observed, and integrated into the surrounding light. In human interaction, similar principles apply. By acknowledging her sense of self, validating her perspective, and engaging with awareness, you create a space where her attention and investment naturally flow toward you. She senses your insight, presence, and composure, responding to the quiet mastery you embody rather than to overt control or demand. The key lies in subtlety. You do not need to feed vanity or provoke insecurity. Instead, observe, reflect, and respond with thoughtful engagement. By framing interactions that honor her autonomy while gently highlighting shared resonance, you encourage emotional investment that feels self-directed and meaningful. Fascination grows when she perceives that her sense of value is recognized, respected, and integrated into the rhythm of interaction. There is also an elegance in patience. By allowing her ego to interact with your calm authority, you create a dynamic tension that amplifies curiosity, attention, and attraction. She invests emotionally not out of obligation, but because her engagement feels appreciated, understood, and valued. This is the subtle power of alignment, a gentle orchestration where presence, perception, and reflection converge to enhance connection organically. Ultimately, turning her ego into your advantage is a meditation in awareness and relational mastery. It is the practice of observing without controlling, guiding without coercing, and harmonizing attention and energy in a way that fosters admiration, curiosity, and meaningful engagement. In this gentle, thoughtful balance, influence arises naturally, attraction deepens organically, and connection resonates with authenticity. Her ego becomes not a barrier, but a bridge, a reflection of subtle, enduring power, emotional intelligence, and the quiet mastery of presence. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the psychology of reverse rejection. Make her chase again. Rejection is often feared, misunderstood, or seen as an endpoint. Yet within the rhythm of human connection, it carries profound potential, an opportunity to awaken curiosity, reflection, and desire. Reverse rejection is not about cruelty or games. It is the subtle art of creating space, inviting attention, and allowing fascination to rekindle naturally. By stepping back with calm awareness, you provide the conditions for voluntary emotional investment, enabling her to chase not out of obligation, but out of genuine intrigue and reflection. Imagine a tide retreating from the shore, drawing back not in absence of energy, but in measured rhythm, preparing for a return that carries greater force and resonance. In relationships, this ebb mirrors the principle of reverse rejection. By gently withdrawing attention or engagement, without reaction or drama, you create a pause that awakens curiosity. She begins to notice the subtle shifts, the intentional restraint, and the quiet composure you embody. This is not manipulation, it is mindful presence, the orchestration of space and attention with ethical awareness. The subtlety lies in intention and timing. Reverse rejection is most effective when aligned with self-possession, composure, and authenticity. It requires observing her responses, maintaining calm authority, and allowing her to reflect on the value of engagement. In this rhythm, fascination deepens, curiosity flourishes, and emotional energy is directed toward connection with thoughtfulness and intentionality. She perceives your stability, patience, and grounded presence, and in turn, her attention, desire, and engagement naturally intensify. There is a paradoxical elegance in this practice. Absence amplifies presence. By stepping back, you preserve intrigue. By allowing her to invest first, you encourage reflection. By maintaining composure, you deepen attraction. The subtle tension of space and attention creates a dynamic interplay that awakens curiosity, strengthens fascination, and inspires voluntary emotional engagement. Ultimately, the psychology of reverse rejection is a meditation in patience, awareness, and relational mastery. It is the gentle orchestration of presence and absence, attention and restraint, curiosity and reflection. By navigating this rhythm with mindful intent, you cultivate influence without coercion, connection without force, and fascination without manipulation. In this quiet mastery, she chases not because she must, but because she is drawn a reflection of subtle power, emotional intelligence, and the enduring artistry of presence in human connection. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: how to use confusion as a power tactic. Confusion, when approached with mindfulness and subtlety, is not chaos, but a tool for reflection, curiosity, and engagement. It is a quiet dance between clarity and mystery, guiding perception without coercion and inviting fascination without force. In human interaction, the gentle use of confusion encourages attentiveness, fosters intrigue, and allows presence to carry influence organically. This is not manipulation for harm, but the art of creating space where perception and curiosity intertwine, deepening connection naturally. Imagine a fog rolling across a quiet forest. Shapes emerge and dissolve, shadows dance, and the path ahead is revealed in fragments. There is beauty in uncertainty, a tension that invites observation, contemplation, and focus. Similarly, subtle confusion in interaction awakens reflection and attention. By presenting ideas, gestures, or responses that are deliberate yet nuanced, you invite engagement without overexposure. She senses that there is depth to be discovered, an inner world to explore, and a rhythm to your presence that is magnetic and captivating. The key lies in balance. Confusion must never overwhelm or provoke distress. It is a measured tension that inspires curiosity. By alternating clarity and ambiguity, presence and pause, openness and restraint, you cultivate a rhythm that draws attention, sustains intrigue, and invites voluntary emotional investment. She begins to observe more deeply, reflect more attentively, and engage with greater intentionality, creating a natural dynamic where fascination grows without demand. There is a subtle elegance in the interplay of uncertainty and presence. By guiding attention through gentle ambiguity, you become a figure of intrigue rather than force. Emotional investment emerges organically because she experiences engagement as a journey of discovery rather than a path dictated by obligation. This subtle orchestration fosters respect, admiration, and connection that feels thoughtful, intentional, and enduring. Ultimately, using confusion as a power tactic is a meditation in awareness, timing, and relational mastery. It is the practice of guiding attention without coercion, inspiring curiosity without pressure, and cultivating engagement without overexposure. In this mindful balance, influence flows naturally, attraction deepens organically, and connection resonates profoundly. Like the shifting fog, presence becomes both revealing and mysterious, a quiet authority that draws attention, fosters fascination, and reflects the enduring artistry of subtle mastery in human interaction. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, the law of emotional scarcity. Give less, get more. In the quiet rhythms of human connection, emotional energy is a currency, subtle yet profound. The law of emotional scarcity is not about withholding out of cruelty, but about preserving presence, valuing attention, and fostering a magnetic rhythm of engagement. By giving thoughtfully, with intention and restraint, you create a dynamic where your presence is appreciated, your energy is sought, and emotional investment arises naturally. The scarcity itself becomes a gentle force, heightening intrigue and deepening connection without coercion or manipulation. Imagine a candle flickering in a dim room. Its light is precious, deliberate, and illuminating. If it burns too freely, its flame diminishes. If it glows with measured rhythm, it draws warmth, attention, and admiration. Emotional scarcity works similarly. By offering attention, care, and presence selectively and intentionally, you communicate value without words. She senses the significance of what is given, reflecting on it, cherishing it, and engaging more deeply. Fascination grows not from abundance, but from the careful orchestration of presence and restraint. The subtlety lies in balance. Giving too freely can erode intrigue, create expectation, or blur boundaries. Giving too little, however, risks disconnection or misunderstanding. The mastery is in attuning to the rhythm of interaction, observing responses, and offering presence in a way that is meaningful, deliberate, and resonant. Scarcity, when aligned with authenticity, conveys self-possession, emotional intelligence, and quiet authority. There is a paradoxical beauty in this principle. By giving less, you invite more attention, curiosity, and emotional investment. She experiences engagement as a choice rather than an obligation, a reflection of value rather than entitlement. Each gesture of care or attention carries weight, meaning, and resonance, reinforcing fascination, trust, and desire. Emotional scarcity becomes not a tactic of deprivation, but a meditation in presence, rhythm, and relational mastery. Ultimately, the law of emotional scarcity is a practice in awareness, patience, and subtle influence. It is the mindful orchestration of energy, the thoughtful distribution of presence, and the cultivation of fascination through intentionality. By giving less and valuing presence, you create space for reflection, curiosity, and connection to flourish organically. In this quiet rhythm, attention is meaningful, engagement is voluntary, and attraction resonates with authenticity, a testament to the profound artistry of subtle mastery in human relationships. Now, let's move on to the next chapter, how to reclaim power after she loses interest. Interest, like the tide, ebbs and flows. At times, attention wanes, curiosity diminishes, and engagement fades. Yet within this natural rhythm lies an opportunity, a quiet space to reclaim presence, restore balance, and inspire renewed fascination. Reclaiming power is not about force, coercion, or resentment. It is about self-mastery, composure, and the subtle orchestration of presence and energy. By aligning with your own depth, clarity, and calm, you create conditions for her attention to return organically, guided by reflection, curiosity, and admiration. Imagine a forest after rain. Leaves shimmer, streams flow with renewed clarity, and the air feels vibrant and alive. Even after periods of stillness or dormancy, life reawakens in its own rhythm. Similarly, when her interest wanes, reclaiming power involves attuning to your own rhythm, grounding in authenticity, maintaining composure, and allowing presence to resonate without desperation. She senses this realignment intuitively, drawn to stability, depth, and the quiet authority that emerges from self-possession. The subtlety lies in patience and reflection. Reclaiming power is not about chasing, pleading, or overexposure. It is about observing the dynamics, understanding the shifts, and responding with calm intention. By preserving intrigue, exercising restraint, and fostering emotional sovereignty, you create an atmosphere where renewed attention becomes natural rather than forced. Fascination emerges because she perceives composure, alignment, and the magnetic energy of someone who is complete within themselves. There is also an elegance in rhythm. Power is not static. It is fluid, responsive, and reflective. By restoring balance through thoughtful presence, you communicate strength without aggression, authority without demand, and depth without pressure. Interaction becomes layered, meaningful, and resonant, awakening curiosity, admiration, and voluntary engagement. Ultimately, reclaiming power after she loses interest is a meditation in awareness, patience, and relational mastery. It is the practice of embodying self-possession, creating subtle shifts in energy, and allowing fascination to rekindle naturally. By aligning with your own depth and rhythm, attention returns not through coercion, but through recognition of value, presence, and authenticity. In this gentle orchestration, connection deepens, attraction flourishes, and influence emerges organically, a reflection of quiet mastery, enduring emotional sovereignty, and the subtle artistry of human interaction. Now, let's move on to the next chapter: why control is an illusion, and how the wise use it anyway. Control is a concept that tempts us with certainty, yet in the delicate rhythm of human connection, it is ultimately an illusion. The more we attempt to dictate outcomes, thoughts, or emotions, the more resistance emerges, and the natural flow of interaction becomes strained. True mastery is not found in imposition, but in awareness, presence, and the subtle guidance of energy. The wise understand that influence arises not from control, but from alignment with rhythm, authenticity, and relational intelligence. Imagine a river flowing toward the sea. You may guide it, shape its path slightly, or adjust its course, but the current ultimately follows its own course, responding to the landscape, the tides, and the pull of gravity. In relationships, this principle applies. Attempts at rigid control often backfire, while mindful presence, composure, and self-possession cultivate influence naturally. By embodying stability, clarity, and patience, you allow connection to unfold with grace, fascination, and mutual respect. The essence lies in acceptance. Control is a mirage. Influence is the true art. By understanding motivations, anticipating responses, and responding with awareness rather than reaction, you shape interactions subtly and ethically. She senses your calm authority, your grounded presence, and your ability to navigate dynamics without compulsion. Attraction and respect emerge not from dominance, but from perception of insight, composure, and quiet mastery. There is also a paradoxical elegance in relinquishing control. By embracing its impossibility, you gain a higher form of influence. Autonomy, curiosity, and engagement flourish when they are invited rather than demanded. Presence becomes magnetic, attention becomes voluntary, and connection deepens organically. The illusion of control fades, replaced by the enduring rhythm of subtle mastery, reflection, and alignment. Ultimately, understanding that control is an illusion is a meditation in wisdom, patience, and relational intelligence. The truly wise use this awareness to guide interactions, inspire curiosity, and cultivate fascination, not through force, but through subtlety, presence, and authenticity. By aligning with the natural currents of human emotion and perception, influence emerges effortlessly, connection resonates deeply, and attraction endures with grace. In the quiet mastery of letting go, the rhythm of interaction flows freely, revealing that the most profound power lies not in control, but in understanding, presence, and the artful orchestration of human connection.